Testing iPhone applications requires root access to an iPhone, and this means breaking the Apple security lockdown, a process called jailbreaking. This can be done from Windows using the popular Pangu tool. Different versions of the tool are available for different versions of iOS. Here we can see the download for the latest release of the iOS 9.2 9.3 tool. There are also Pangu tools for earlier versions of iOS. I'd recommend that you obtain a dedicated device to use for testing. An older iPhone 4 or 5 is not too expensive, and if you're serious about mobile testing, then it's useful to have a device configured and ready to go. It's preferable not to use your main day-to-day mobile for this work, as the device will have lower security and may be less reliable than the standard iPhone configuration. Jailbreaking requires connecting an iPhone to the PC using its USB cable and running the Pangu tool. We can see the Pangu tool jailbreak screen on this slide. As soon as you click jailbreak, Pangu will ask you to change the device's date time and to the Beijing time zone, and shows you how to do that. Remember to change it back immediately after Pangu finishes to automatic date time. The process is mostly automated, so once you've downloaded the software, then just run it. Remember to remove any phone passcode before you start, and towards the end of the process, you'll need to open the Pangu app on your phone. Once the jailbreak is complete, you'll see the Cydia application on your mobile. This is an application installation tool which has a number of unofficial sources of Apple applications. I've successfully run the Pangu jailbreak tool on my iPhone 4 device running iOS 7.1.2, and I'll use that to demonstrate iOS application testing. The first time Cydia runs, it has to prepare the file base. This takes some time, and occasionally messages may appear saying that the file base is getting full. These can be closed. The main Cydia screen is shown here with useful links in the main body and App Store type controls at the bottom. The first thing we need to do to enable testing is to load the AppSync plugin for Cydia and load OpenSSH so that we can connect to the device. To do this, we use the Cydia search icon on the device at the bottom right of the screen to find and install applications, pretty much as we would on the App Store. To load AppSync, type AppSync in the search box, and Cydia will find the application from its source repositories. Install that. Then go back to search and type OpenSSH and install that. Note the sources icon towards the bottom left on the bottom row, which is used to manage the source repositories used by Cydia. While a set of standard repositories are configured by default, you may find some tools are in other repositories, and you can add these repositories using the sources function. Now we have a jailbroken device with OpenSSH installed, we can use PuTTY to connect to the device over Wi-Fi. I've connected my device to Wi-Fi and checked the IP address. Go to Settings, select Wi-Fi and press the information circle to the right of the network SSID. Mine's set to 192.168.1.2. I can now connect to it using my standard PuTTY client. It takes a little while to connect for the first time as OpenSSH on the device is generating its SSH keys. Eventually we'll see the login prompt. The standard login for the iPhone is a user ID of root and a password of Alpine. We now have a full command line shell on the iPhone as root and can see two directories, libraries and media. Let's change to the topmost directory so we can explore the file system. This shows the topmost file structure, and we can see there's a number of redirects. For example, var redirects us to /private/var. I'll use this shortcut and drop into the var folder. There's a number of folders here, and you might like to spend a bit of time searching through them to see what they contain. For instance, let's have a look at the stash folder. There's a bunch of strange name folders here. Let's look at one of them. Here we see another folder named ringtones, and if we list that, we can see the ringtones stored on the device. While it's interesting to explore, one of the key areas we're interested in is var mobile, so let's go there. The first two folders are applications and containers, which we'll be spending time looking at, followed by documents, library, media, and mobile software update. The library and media folders contain interesting files. Library consists of subfolders containing the various operational files used by the device. For instance, if we look at the accounts folder, we can see an SQLite database for accounts. Likewise, if we look at the SMS folder, we can see the SMS database, which if we extracted it and opened it, we'd find is a clear text database of text messages. The media folder contains the various books, music and photographs on the device. We can see the DSIM directory, and by drilling down we can find the photographs that are on the device. The main folders we're interested in are applications and containers. Applications contains a number of UUIDs. Likewise, if we list containers, we also see a similar, smaller set of UUID folders. Each of these UUID folders represents an application sandbox, including its application bundle and data container folders. Let's have a look at the application folder starting with 73F089B1. Here we can see a set of folders: Documents, Library, StoreKit, Viber.app, and so on. If we look at the Viber.app folder, we can see what Apple calls the Viber bundle, the full set of application files. The container folder provides additional data for an application, but doesn't use the same application UUID, so a bit of browsing will help associate the two. And here we can see additional Viber container files. Now that your device is open, it may be a good time to change the default root password. You can do this using the password command. There's plenty to explore inside the iPhone, and investing a bit of time in getting familiar with the file structure of your specific test device will pay off.